All right, I want to talk about the auto industry now because the three big U.S. automakers have idled their production, all of their factories, through at least March 30th. What does it mean for the workers? What does it mean for consumers of cars? We have with us Greg Migliore. He is the editor-in-chief at Autoblog. Greg, have you ever seen anything like this?
This, I think, is the biggest crisis we've seen facing the auto industry since the '08 to '09 recession, when two of them actually filed for bankruptcy. So I think across the board, we're going to see huge, factors weighing down, all parts of the economy. But the auto industry is a pretty unique place in the fact that a good chunk of it, you can't work from home. You got to go to the factory to build the cars, to check the quality control, to, do certain elements of design, validation. So this is really significant that essentially they're telling everybody to go home. And, then some of the sort of the corporate end of things like design and engineering, that will be a work from home element. I expect sales are going to drop dramatically. I think March might be the last sort of month we see that's any kind of normal. I can't imagine in April people are going to be buying cars. To do that, you're going to have to go to a dealership for the most part. I don't think people are going to want to do that. So I think the auto industry is going to be affected as much, if not maybe even more than every other part of the economy.
Greg, do you see another government bailout on the way for the automakers, reminiscent to what we saw in '08?
I actually think Ford, General Motors, and Fiat Chrysler have a good amount of money on hand. They've sort of seen this before. They've been through it. So they're pretty well positioned to weather this. I think, some of the other automakers across the globe, Volkswagen, Toyota, Daimler, a lot of these companies are pretty well, financed. They've put money away for a rainy day. I'd say the auto industry is one industry that sort of has learned its lesson. They've seen the dark days and they know that you can't just hope things are going to get better. So I think they're pretty well positioned to get through this, actually.
Greg, Brian here. Who's not utterly well capitalized? That is Tesla. What do you make of their financial situation right now? And is this the type of thing that finally takes Tesla down?
Well, I wouldn't go that far just yet. I mean, I think we need to see how long this is all going to truly last. None of us really know. It certainly could. I mean, we saw a small electric company called NIO. Sounds like it's going to go under, basically because they can't do anything. And when you're that small and the margins are so thin, you're in trouble in situations like this. I think Tesla's got a lot more time than, some of these startups and smaller companies do. But I think they're more at risk than some of the larger automakers simply because their financial situation is, much more precarious. That being said, people would probably love to invest in Tesla. So if they needed to do another round of financing, I think people would line up to do that.
And actually, Tesla said that it's going to keep its factory in California open. And this morning, guys, Morgan Stanley upgraded to equal weight from underperform. Tesla's shares are rallying as a result. And as I want to get over to you just for a last check of the markets, because in addition to Tesla moving higher, we've got the FANG stocks on the plus side today.
That's right. The FANG names today, those are in the green. Those are actually helping the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is in the green. Meanwhile, you've got the S&P and the Dow, which are in the red, with the Dow down about 1%. The S&P's down 0.3%. But the NASDAQ is the gainer, up more than 1%. And if we just take a look at the sectors, communication services, that's leading the gains along with consumer discretionary and also materials. And as I just mentioned, the FANG names, Amazon up 4%. You've got Alphabet up more than 1%. Alexis.
All right, nice to see some people feeling comfortable enough to get in there and bargain hunt a little bit. Do you think that we're going to come out of this stronger than ever for the autos, Greg?
Well, I think the auto industry has always been really a boom and bust cycle. It's always been a roller coaster. Things were good back in the 1920s, then they crashed, and they came back with World War II. I think, the auto industry is among the most resilient sectors of the economy. So I would expect when the economy comes back, when the market comes back, the auto industry will be right there. And in the meantime, we've already heard things like Ford and General Motors might try to transition to make ventilators, things like that. They certainly have the skilled workforce to do things like that. So I think things will be just fine.
All right, Greg Migliore of Autoblog, thanks for joining us.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.